Hello, friends. Oh my gosh, there's like a light halo. How are you? It's Carrie from Stretch She. We're doing a live class today, and I'm super groggy, so I'm hoping to wake up a bit. I've taken so many naps today. Are you guys doing this too? Napping like crazy? I'm really happy you guys are here. I'm sure more people will log in as we get moving. Let me set up the camera and then I'm going to make my way back to my mat. Awesome. All right. If you are here, be sure to say hi. Leave me a comment. I can see them on my phone. I'm watching co-concurrently on my phone. Um, I am a few seconds behind you guys, so if you do leave a comment, don't be surprised if I don't chime in right away. But I am here. So be sure to say hi. I love to connect with you guys, especially if you're a regular from my normal class. Be sure to say hi and let me know you're here because that's why I'm here for you guys. I hope that, let me get this out of the way. There we go. I hope that you guys are doing well. I hope you're taking care of yourself. I hope that for those of you who are able to get outside and get some of the earth energy that you're doing that. I think it's pretty important. I took a really long walk this morning, stayed far away from people, but I got out into the grass. I walked in the park, like on the green things around the trees. And one thing that I really noticed that kind of gave me a lot of peace and solitude was just being around nature, seeing these big giant trees that have seen all kinds of crazy things in their lifetime, and still standing strong. And you know what? Like, I think we'll be okay. I think that we will see a lot of things in our lifetime too. And it's good for us, keeps us strong. So make sure that you guys are really taking care of yourself. Drink lots of water, eat healthy food, try not to get too inflamed. That means not so much chocolate. I've been eating a lot of chocolate, I have to admit. But keep your immune system in a really good place and keep stretching. That's all we can do. All right? Okay, so for those of you who are watching live, hello, welcome for being here. Be sure to say hi to me. For those of you who are chiming in later, if you've never done Ki-Hara before, this might not be the place to start because we're just going to go right into our stretches. You're welcome to, but I have some other videos that explain these stretches in a little more detail, and so you might just want to veer from this if it seems too confusing or too difficult, and check out some of those other pre-recorded videos that are on my site, okay? And don't forget to subscribe, of course. There's a little button in the corner over here that looks like an arrow, like a little square play button. Click on that and subscribe. That'll make sure that you get notified for these live videos. And if you click the little bell icon too, then you'll get a notification. So it'll either send you an email or it'll send a little thing to your phone that says hey, Carrie's getting ready to do a live class. So that you won't miss it, because it is really nice to be able to connect with you guys live. So if you click those buttons, then we can stay connected. That would be awesome. One more thing that I just want to bring up. I'm doing these classes for free because I feel like it's important right now. But I am not making money at my studio, and that worries me a little bit. I'm okay. I'm doing okay. But it does worry me a little bit. And so if you find value in these classes or in anything that I'm doing online, or if you just want to support me, look in the description below, and there's a link for my PayPal. It's my PayPal address, and you can send a contribution. So you could send a contribution for $1 or for however much you want, depending on what you think works for you. We're all kind of in a weird place right now money-wise, so I just don't feel like putting a price on anything makes sense right now. So feel free to contribute if you want. If not, it's totally fine. I will continue putting this word out. One more thing before we get into stretching. Next week I'm going to start offering my Life Renovations course on YouTube for free also. Life Renovations is a 5-part course where you get a lesson based off of a book called The Master Key System. This was written in the early 1900s by Charles Hamill. It talks about all the different laws of the universe, how to make them work for you, how to remove your fears, your limitations, and your obstacles so that you can live your best life, but also how to learn I teach you in the class like how to meditate, how to learn to focus, how to really, oh, there's a cat. Sorry, you cannot lay there. Okay, maybe she can for a second. So it teaches you how to concentrate, how to focus, how to make sure that you're using your mind in the best way, and then figuring out what your unique purpose is in the world. And once you know what your unique purpose is, then you can really make a difference. And I feel like right now, because of the state of the world, we really need to be making a difference and using our gifts in the best way. So I can help you do that. And I'm going to do it for free on YouTube. So be sure to chime in for those classes. Check them out. It's 5 parts. So you'll have a lesson. There's guided journaling. There's also I swear the cat will leave us alone in a second. There's a meditation each week. Of course, we will be stretching. And then we'll also do an anti-inflammatory diet. Now, this diet isn't like do all of these things. It's more like each week I'll give you a lesson about different types of anti-inflammatory foods or things that are not so good for you and how to cut those out of your life or how to increase things that are anti-inflammatory. So it's more like just lessons about how to be a little bit more healthy in your diet, especially right now when we're really wanting to beef up our immune systems. Having inflammation in your body isn't going to be helpful. So that's one of the other modules of Life Renovation. So I'm super excited about it, and I hope you guys will join in. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to work a bit today on the front of our body, mainly because I'm feeling like I'm wanting to curl up into a ball. I think this is just the trauma of what we've been going through. It kind of like pulls us in. So we're going to work a little bit on opening up the front of our bodies and really, lengthening through. Also because a lot of us are sitting on the couch all day, or we're not like really standing up as much as we normally would. So let's get that kind of stuff opened up. Feel free at any time, if you guys are watching this live, to write in the chat if you have any questions about what's happening in your body, or any comments, or anything that you want to approach in your own body, and I'm happy to work through those. You guys can also write in the comments afterwards, if you're watching this and it's not live, write in the comments also about what you feel or what you want to work on in the next class, and I'll make sure to address those then too. All right, let's get started. I want to work on our hip flexors to start off. We're going to take this kind of easy to begin with, and then we're going to open them up a little bit more. Now, I have a couple towels. They're just like hand towels. If you need to run and get some, go ahead and do that really quick. You just like grab a few towels, or a yoga strap is fine. Or you can also use your hands in the stretch if you don't feel like getting a rope. So what you'll do is bring your left leg up and wrap the rope right behind your knee, like at your calf, and hold on to it there. When you do that, your spine is going to sink down to the floor. And that's good because this muscle we're going to stretch connects at your leg and goes through to your spine. So having your spine on the floor keeps one side of the muscle in place so that we can move the other side. It's kind of like if you had a rubber band and you're trying to stretch the rubber band and you hold one side so that you can stretch the other side. But if you let both sides move, then it doesn't stretch, right? So you need to make sure that you hold one side. So by having your leg up in the air, it's putting your spine on the ground and holding one side of the muscle so we can stretch the other. If this is tough for you, put the strap around the upper part of your leg and let your knee bend. That's okay too, okay? You just need to find no space here. And it's not the kind of no space that you would get, when they talk in Pilates about pulling your belly button to the floor or like belly button to spine. It's not like that. It's just a basic, like, lift your leg up, your pelvis tilts a little bit, and your back comes down. It's very simple. There's no effort here. Then I'm going to put my hand on top of my right leg, and I'm going to pull my knee in towards my chest. I'm pushing with my hand at the same time. That gives me the resistance. And then I'm going to use my hand to push and move into the stretch. My leg is resisting the whole time, so if I slipped, if I took my hand off, my leg would come back in. So you just push open for your stretch, and you pull in for strength. Now remember with resistance stretching that there are 3 rules to follow. The first rule is that you always move. There's never a point where you hold a stretch. The second rule is that you always resist. So there's always tension here between my hand and my leg. My right hand and my right leg. My left leg, there's tension too, but it's not really the point. That point is just to keep your back on the floor. And then the last rule is that if anything hurts, stop. Don't do anything that hurts. Stretching is not supposed to hurt. And I know that a lot of people think that that's not true, but you guys are all wrong. I hate to tell you, stretching is not painful and it doesn't need to be painful. Okay? It does not need to be painful for it to be effective. If you don't believe me, just watch some of my other videos, but I promise you, if anything hurts, it's not going to be good for your body, okay? Your body's going to try to get you out of it, and it's going to compensate to do that, which means that it's going to screw up all your neuromuscular connections. And we don't want that. We want you to be nice and balanced. So if anything hurts, just stop and skip it, and we'll come back to it at another time, okay? All right, now take this strap and put it around your right leg, your towel, your rope, whatever, so that your spine is on the floor, and put your hand on top of your left thigh. And then push your knee in towards your chest. And then use your left arm to push your left leg down towards the floor. It doesn't have to go all the way down. You just go as far as you feel like you want to go. And then come right back up for strength. And we're just going to go back and forth. So you push open for your stretch. This is the stretch. And you push up for strength. Now you might not even feel anything. It might feel pretty minor. It could be just a tuggy feeling in the front of your hip on the left side. It should be right in the front of your body. If you feel anything in like the outside of your hips and your glutes, like anything uncomfortable, like out here but on the side that you're stretching, then it's not going to be helpful for you. So you can skip this stretch. And let's go ahead and do one more. So you come up for strength and then down for your stretch. Very good. Now we're going to work on our hamstrings. So we should take this strap and wrap it around your foot. Hold both ends of the towel or the strap in each hand. So I'm actually holding like this. Wrap it around your foot. Sorry, so helpful. Then you're going to kick with your heel down towards your glutes. And then pull your arms up. Notice that my entire arms are moving from my shoulder to pull me into the stretch. And then kick down for strength and up for stretch. Now I have my left leg bent, but you are welcome to straighten it out if you want. That'll just give you a little bit more of a stretch. It's really up to you, whatever feels good. So down for strength, and then continue kicking down with your heel while you pull up for your stretch. So my leg is active the whole time. If I were to slip, my heel would strike down like this, and my arms would fly up over my head. So kicking down for strength, and up for stretch. We're aiming for about 6 to 10 of these stretches. Now in some of my previous videos I do less repetitions and we repeat, but I don't feel like doing that today. So we're going to do about 10 on each and switch sides. I don't always count, mainly because I usually just stretch until I feel like I don't want to, and it's fine for you to do that too. Just stretch until you don't want to stretch anymore, and then switch sides, okay? Or 10 if you're a counter, that's okay too. So kick down for strength, then pull up for stretch. So I'm now on my left leg, kicking down for strength and pulling up for stretch. The muscles staying engaged the entire time, and we're going to do 10 of these. Down for strength. And up for stretch. Now, everybody has a different range of motion, so you don't have to move at the same speed as me. Just get the basic move down, and then do what feels good to you. It's okay if you only move like this far, but what that means is that you're going to get through your 10 repetitions a lot faster than me. So if that's the case, just stop. It's okay. You just stop when you're done. Down for strength, and up for stretch. Oof, okay. Now I think we did about 10. I don't even know. I just stretch until I feel like I don't want to stretch anymore. Oh, I'll tell you guys, sitting around all day is hard work. It really is. All right, so now we're going to work on the outside of our hips. Now, in class, we call this, we call them Jane Fonda leg lifts because it's kind of like what Jane Fonda used to do in her workout videos in the 80s. Do you remember those? So you're going to lay on your side. I like to have my head up when I do this. I don't know why. Maybe so I can see people. You can have your head down if you want. You're going to bring your legs up into kind of a fetal position. So my hips are actually bent at 90 degrees. And then I have my feet forward. So they're actually off my mat and my knees are 90 degrees as well. So everything here is like a square zigzag. It's almost like if I was sitting in a chair. Then put your hand on top of your knee. This is my left leg on top, so I'm putting my left arm on top of my knee, my left hand here. And I'm going to push down for strength. I'm going to push down with my hand to give me a weight. And then I lift up. This is the strength training move. It would be like if you were lifting weights at the gym. And then use your hand to push you back down. I'm going to continue resisting with my leg. So if I slipped, my leg would fly up and my arm would fly down. So you just go back and forth. Up for strength and down for stretch. Now, if you're just chiming in, make sure to say hi and tell me if there's anything specific that you want to work on. You just write it in the chat and then I'll get that message, okay? So up for strength and down for stretch. Now we're going to add a little bit of extra to the stretch. And the way you do that is you keep pushing with your hand, and as you push down at the same speed, reach your foot forward. So it's like you're trying to straighten your leg out. That's a much more intense stretch. And then right back up. From here, we're starting in the same position we were in before, and very slowly, you straighten your leg out in front of you. Whew. You don't have to do that motion if it doesn't feel good. You could just stick to the straight up and down, like just, your that leg like this. But if you like that extra bit, go for it. Oh, your glutes should really be burning right here on the top. Now again, if you're not feeling that or if it just doesn't feel good, then go ahead and stop doing these stretches. Like, don't put yourself in pain. It's just not worth it. Now we're going to go into a deeper stretch here for the outside of our hips. So put your left hand on top of your thigh with your legs completely straight. If you feel like you're going to fall over, you can bend your bottom knee. That will give you a little bit more stability. And then from here, just a little bit of pressure. You're going to push your legs straight up and then use your hand to shove it down. But there's resistance the whole time. So you go up for strength and down for your stretch. Up for strength and down for stretch. This one, again, you should feel in the outer part of your glute. It might burn a good amount. That's okay. Just do as many as you want to do. We don't have to do 10 of these. It just grabs a different part of the abductor group. It's like your glute muscle group. Getting these glutes really active. Oh, one more I think is good. All right, good work, guys. Now just flip over, do the other side. So you'll lay on your left side, your right legs will come up. So my legs are at a 90-degree angle here at my hips. They're also at a 90-degree angle at my knees. And I'm going to put my right hand on top of my right knee and push up for strength. And then use my right hand to push me back down. So I'm pushing with my right hand and resisting with my right leg. My leg's trying to stay up. My arm is trying to push it down. And then your leg wins. And then your arms win. And you just go back and forth. You can imagine if there was like a spring connecting your knee to the wall, and if you slipped, it'd be like, right? So you just go back and forth. And so your hand shoves it down, but your leg's like, no! And then your arm's like, yes, I win. So back and forth like that. You can also straighten your leg out if you want that extra stretch. Whew. That's a little more intense, right? You should feel this in your right glute, all along the side of your leg. This could go all the way down through your IT band and maybe even into your foot if you're really lucky. You get the whole thing. Oh, that's enough. Boy, that burns, doesn't it? It's a good one. All right, and then go to straight legs again. You're gonna put your right hand on top of your right leg. Give it a little resistance. If you feel like you're wobbly, like you're gonna fall over, just bend your bottom leg a little bit. That'll give you a little bit more support. Your hand on top of your leg, push down with your hand while you push up with your leg. So up for strength, and then shove it down. That's your stretch. Up for strength, and down for stretch. And you should feel this right here along the outside of your hip. Hopefully it feels pretty good. Or maybe you don't feel anything. Or maybe you feel a lot. If you feel anything in the front of your hips here, you can stop doing the stretch. Or if you feel your inner thighs, like through here, you can stop doing it as well. We're going to fix that. So up for strength and down for stretch. Let's do one more because it feels good. All right. Good work, you guys. Whew. Now we're going to do a stretch we call our side lunge. So you're going to come up into a lunge on your right leg and your left leg out to the side. I guess if you're mirroring me, let me do that. So your left leg here and your right leg out to the side. Then take your hands over your head and just grab your wrist. Like just grab one wrist. It doesn't matter which one, just whichever one feels good. You want your legs to be wide enough that you're starting to feel a little bit of a stretch in your inner thighs. And then from here, what you're going to do is use your left arm to pull you to the left, and then use your right arm to pull you over your right foot. You should feel this along the outside of your body here and on your inner thigh. So you go towards your bent leg for strength and towards your straight leg for your stretch. If you feel any pinching in the front of your hip here, you can stop doing the stretch. You just skip it. Or you could try maybe coming in a little bit so that it's not so intense. Right? You can change it. Do a deeper stretch. You can come out even further. Ooh, that'll be a little bit more intense. Open for strength and close for stretch. Oh, so good. We're aiming for 10 again, just like I said before. But, you know, if you don't count, that's okay. You just do as many as you want. Your body will just at a certain point be like, that's good. I'm bored. Okay? If you start to feel bored, you just do the other side. It's so easy. It's your body. You do what you want, right? I'm not going to stop you. All right. So now bring your left leg out to the side. Your right knee is bent here. And you're going to grab your wrist again. Doesn't matter which wrist. Just grab them. Try to pull your arms apart. Try to push your left leg into the floor. And you'll go back and forth. So you'll pull across to the right. And then over your left leg. This is your stretch. For this stretch again, you should feel, oh my goodness. Oh, from here down. And then across this leg as well. So good. Open up for strength. And then close towards your towards your left side for your stretch. And you just go back and forth. This is such a good stretch. It's one of my favorites. I mean, I say that about all of them because I really do love these stretches. I love all of them. If this is your first time doing Ki-Hara, give me a shout out in the comments. Let me know. Let me know in the description. Be like, I've never done this before. This is crazy stuff. This is new and different. I'll tell you guys, this is the science of stretching. This is the new stretching, and it's so great. When you add resistance to the muscle when you stretch it, it stretches the belly of the muscle, like deep from the inner fibers, instead of stretching from your tendons, and it changes everything. Not only that, but you're also strength training, so you're building strength in your muscles, and that in itself is super cool, I think. I'm a big fan, I have to say. I'm a huge fan. All right, now let's go back and stretch out our hip flexors. Now when we did this in the beginning of class, you laid on your back and put one leg up like this, and the other you just push down like this. You are welcome to continue doing that stretch, but if you want to try a different one, then follow me. So stay doing this one if you want to. If you want to do a different one, come up onto your knees. Your right leg in the front, your left leg behind. And you're going to try to pull your right leg back while you pull your left leg forward at the same time. But the mat's in the way, so they'll stop you. So basically, this leg's going to try to kick back. And you'll notice if you watch me, here I'm relaxed. Watch this leg. It kind of juts forward. You see that? So you want to find that jut forward. Your front leg will respond by trying to pull back. And then use your front leg to pull you deep into the stretch. Now notice, I'm leaning back a little bit. So that I'm almost like going into a back bend here. This stretches out the front of my hips here. And then I'm going to pull back for strength. And I'm going to use my front leg to pull me forward for my stretch and lean back a bit. And you just go back and forth. I like to do very slow running arms. Like I'm running so fast. And then back the other way. And you just go back and forth. Should be right here in the front of your hip. If you don't feel that, if you feel any pain, if you have any problems with this, try switching sides or just skip the stretch completely. Be sure to tell me in the comments what you're feeling, okay? Because I can totally chime in with you guys. So just go back and forth. Nice. And let's go to the other side. So you'll have your right leg behind and your left leg in the front, and then you can resist by trying to pull together with both. So your left leg is going to try to kick back here. Your right leg, watch me, is going to jump forward just a little bit, okay? So find that resistance, and then use your front leg here to pull you into the lunge. And then back for stretch. And you just go back and forth. Hey, if you guys are watching this on your TV, just to tell you, it's hard to leave comments if you're on your TV. So you can watch it on your TV and put it on your phone at the same time. And then you can put comments on your phone while you're watching the television. That way we can be a little bit more interactive. I'm totally willing to help you guys out. So you can try that option as well. Just make sure you're leaning back a bit. You should feel this in front of your hip. Feel free to move around in the way that your body wants to move. It could be that you want to twist a little. It could be that you want to raise your arms into the stretch and reach. Just do what feels right. Your body will tell you if you just kind of follow what feels right. But don't do anything that feels wrong. Got it? It's important. All right. Okay, that's opening up our hip flexors. Now we're going to work a little bit on opening up our chest. So you're going to bring your hands into a wide position, wide like this. And just bring them to the outside of your mat on the floor. So I'm actually like not on my mat, but my hands are coming out to the wood floor. And then what you're going to do is pull with your hands in a diagonal motion like you're trying to pull them to your knees. So this motion looks like this, from here to here. Open to close. It's a diagonal stretch, okay? So bring your hands to the floor. Try to pull towards your knees and sit back into your stretch. You can bring your forehead through, like I'm trying to touch my bun to the floor, and then use your arms to pull you back up. And you just go back and forth like this. You should feel this in the front of your arms, like kind of in your armpits, in your biceps. If you feel in the back of your shoulders, you can just skip it. That would be totally fine. And you just go back and forth. Up for strength and down for stretch. And again, we're going to aim for about 10, and we'll see what happens. If you feel any pain here, let me know, or you just skip the stretch. You can try something different. If it's hard on your knees too, let me know. We'll work it out for you. Up for strength and down for stretch. And now pull down into your stretch. This is the last one. Bring your head through. Great. And now bring your hands into the middle of your mat. So my elbows are about 4 inches apart, and my hands are also going to be about 4 inches apart. My thumbs are almost touching. From looking down on the floor, it looks like this. Okay? So you're going to find that position. Use your forearms and your hands to pull you forward. Your legs are going to try to slow you down. So my legs are trying to pull me back like this, and my arms are going to win and pull me forward. When my nose gets over my thumbs, I'll feel my feet want to pop up, and that's when you just switch back, let your legs win, and pull you back. Keep pulling with your arms, and then tuck your head. And you'll feel the stretch through the back of your shoulders and neck. And then pull back forward. This is strength training. And then as you pull back, you'll find your stretch. Keep resisting with your arms, pulling your elbows towards your knees. Tuck your chin. It also helps to think about trying to pull your elbows apart when you get to the bottom of the stretch. So if you think about trying to pull your elbows apart, even though the mat will stop you, then you'll feel a deeper stretch through your shoulders. And up and down. And you can get more stretch and deeper strength if you want by coming up onto your hands. And then from here, pull with your hands towards your knees, bend at your elbows, and then sit back, tucking your chin. That's a little extra bonus if you want it. So as you pull forward, you pull yourself all the way up, sit back, and tuck your chin. Let's do one more like that. Nice. Hey, look. I win. I was doubling. My mat was pulling in. That's a good sign. That means I'm resisting. Are you guys resisting? It's good. It's so good. Okay. Whew. That was an intense one. Next stretch we're going to do. What's next? How about for the back of your shoulders? So bring your right arm up and grab your elbow with your opposite hand and try to pull your arms open, pull them apart. So you're going to resist like you're trying to open your arms up. I'm sitting on my knees, but you can sit however you want. If you want to cross your legs, if you want to sit in a chair, if you want to stand up, it doesn't matter. You just do what you want. But we're focusing on the shoulders here, so just make sure that your shoulders have some room to move. Then you're going to resist like you're trying to pull your arms apart, pull open for your strength training move, and then pull across for your stretch. Keep your back nice and straight so that you're not twisting into the stretch, but that you keep your back like square, your shoulders right over your hips. So you open for strength and close for stretch. And just go back and forth like this. You should feel this stretch in the back of your shoulder. If you don't feel it there, then go ahead and skip this stretch, or you can move in smaller ranges of motion if it doesn't feel good. It's totally fine to just move this far. But you want to make sure that you're moving and resisting, and again, like if anything hurts, just don't do it. It's not worth it. Open for strength and close up for stretch. And again, we're aiming for about 10, but you can do as many as you want. Just do what feels good to you. It's a nice one. I miss my music from class. For those of you who know me, I have this crazy eclectic set of music of like Italian pop songs and French cafe music and Stevie Wonder, and I love it. But I don't think that I can put them on because of copyright. So I haven't figured out how that works yet. But you guys turn on some music in your house. Why not, right? This doesn't just have to be me being quiet. And let's try the other side. So this is your left arm. You're going to push open for strength and pull across for your stretch. And again, you should feel this in the back of your left shoulder. Your right shoulder you might feel too when you come open this way. That's a stretch also. But we're just focusing mostly on this one. And you should feel it back here. needed, so important to keep your body strong and mobile, especially since we're sitting on the couch a lot, sitting at your desk. For those of you working at home, I'm sure you probably don't have the best aerodynamic positions either, so just make sure that you're really keeping yourself in a good place. Maybe take this stretch and put it in your back pocket so that you can remember to do it in the middle of the day too. Probably not a bad idea. This one really helps to pull you back into good posture. So when you feel like you're like slumped like this, if you do that stretch, it actually builds up some elasticity in the muscles in the back of your shoulders, like and through your back here. And so what that does is it actually pulls you into place. It's sort of like, you know, those things you can buy. They're like harnesses. You put them on your shoulders, or like the, you know, the little thing that like dings at you if you lean over. It's kind of like that. Except it like fixes the problem instead of just like, you know, forcing you into position. But it actually like opens you up. You may notice already that just after doing those couple stretches that you feel like you can sit upright a little bit easier. Isn't that cool? It almost feels uncomfortable to like slouch down, right? Kind of crazy. It's just how resistance stretching works. So you didn't just stretch your muscles, but you actually taught them how to have more spring in them, so they hold you up better. Cool, huh? All right, let's move into a stretch for the front of your chest. This one is a push-up. Now you can do this on your knees, you can do it on your feet, you can do it on the wall, whatever feels best for you. But you're gonna bring your arms really wide and your elbows wide. And then when you come down towards the floor, your arms will open up like this, and that stretches out the front of your shoulders. You're basically pulling your elbows back. So it will look like this. So it stretches out the pecs from the front. So come down to your mat or on the wall and bring your hands really wide. So my hands are on the wood floor, not on my mat, and my elbows are coming out to the side. And you're gonna very slowly drop yourself down towards the floor. When you feel like you can't support yourself anymore, then you push back up. So you don't get to the point where you actually drop to the floor, you just lift up, okay? So even if you just go this far, that's okay, all right? So you just do as many as feels good. Whew. The stretch is on the way down, so you wanna take it nice and slow. Good. Whew. I already did class today, so I've done a bunch of these already, but I'm going to try for a few more because this is important. This is a good stretch for the front of your chest here, which, you guys, is right around your lungs, right? And so we want to get some nice opening here. Now in Chinese medicine, you have this point right here along one. It's a really, where to go? If you take your thumbs like this, like your suspenders, you'll find it. You just push on it. It's a really good stretch to keep your lungs really healthy and open. It's not a stretch, it's an acupoint. So you can push on that point. But doing the stretch also helps to open up the energy through that channel. So it's good for you. You try that one out, okay? All right, we're gonna do a little bit more opening through the front here. So it should bring your hands behind you, like you're in a crab walk position. And you're gonna curl your shoulders in. Curl them in towards your sternum, like towards the center of your body. And then use your arms to push you open. You can bring your head back if it feels good. And then curl in. This is your strength motion. And up for stretch. This is a really good one for the front of your shoulders. You should feel it right through here. It could go down into your forearms. It could go in through your biceps, like you might feel the whole front of your arm here, you might feel it here, you might feel it in your wrists. If it hurts in your wrists, you can turn your hand the other way, so maybe out this way instead. That's okay too. It might not be as intense of a stretch, but that's might be where you are, right? That's okay. You can also take this stretch a little further by coming up into a tabletop. So you just lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Now, if you really want to work on this hip opening and opening up the front of your body and your chest, then this will be really good for you because it's also going to open up your hip flexors and your abs through the front. Okay, so you could try that if it feels good to you. If you don't feel like you can support your weight, then don't do it. Okay, it's just your body telling you, like, not this way. And you have to listen to your body. If that's the only thing I teach you in this class, then I feel like I've succeeded. Listen to your body because it tells you exactly what it wants and what it doesn't want if you start listening. Okay, so just pay attention to what you're feeling. All right, let's move on into our quad stretch. So you're going to take a towel. So I just have a hand towel here, and if you need one, just run and go get one right now. Put the video on pause, come back to it. And you're going to put your hands down on the floor so that you're on all fours. And take your right leg and bring it up so that your foot is against the wall and your knee lands on the towel. So my foot is flat against the wall here and my knee's on the towel. You can double that up if you need to. You can use a pillow. Another rule of thumb for this stretch is that if you have painted toenails, put something out over your foot because otherwise you're going to ruin your wall, okay? You don't want to get red toenail polish on your wall. And then bring your other leg across to the front. And in this lunge position, you're going to push in outward directions. So I'm pushing my right leg into the wall, and I'm pushing my left leg forward, like I'm trying to slide my mat towards you, okay? From here, I'm going to push with my right leg, and that brings me forward. And I'm going to push with my back leg to push me back towards the wall. And I get that stretch right through my quad. This might be intense for you. If it's really intense, you can bring your knee further away from the wall. That will make it easier. So like instead of your knee being this close to the wall, make your knee like this close to the wall. That'll make it a lot easier for you. If your balance is off, grab a chair, grab something that, hold the wall. Something to hold on to is very helpful. That would be good too. And if this is tough on your knee, either double up your towels or just don't do the stretch at all. We can come back to it later. So forward for strength. And back for your stretch. You should feel this along the front of your quad. Whoa. Very good. Now, if you want a deeper stretch of this, take your hands and interlock them, and then pretend like you're yawning. Just, like, good morning, sunshine. And you'll feel that whole stretch through the front of your body, okay? But only if it feels good. You could also just reach one arm if that feels good. But it should feel like you're really reaching. Not like you don't just hold your arm up. Like just holding your arm up does nothing. So you have to like reach for it. Oh, and then you feel the whole length of the fascia through your quads and then through your abdomen. That's a good one. Let's do one more. Okay, now we'll switch sides. So bring your hands down. Bring your other foot down, and we'll reset. So find a place for your towel. If you want a little more cushioning, line it up right. I'm gonna double line a bit more because this wood floor is very wooden. All right, now take your left leg and drop it on the towel with your foot against the wall, and don't forget to put something under your foot if you need it. And then bring your right leg around to the front. Then come up into a lunge. Now again, if you can't come up into this full lunge, then you're too close to the wall. So just bring your knee further away from the wall. Open your stance a little bit, it'll feel better. Then push your left leg into the wall, and that's gonna drive you forward. Your right leg will respond to that by pushing forward into the floor, and that's gonna push you back towards the wall, and that's when we get this quad stretch. So you go forward for strength and back for your stretch. And you just keep moving back and forth. If you tuck your tailbone, that's really much more intense. So, just play around with it. If this is like, I can't do that. If that's the way you feel about this stretch, it's okay, just skip it. We'll come back to another quad stretch later to make sure that you feel a little bit more open through this, especially if you don't feel like you can get on your knees. So it's totally fine to skip this one. It's also fine to move in very small ranges of motion. Cool. So forward for strength and back for stretch. And if you want, you can yawn a little. Oh, and stretch out that fascia. Whew. Intense one. Back and forth. Oh, okay, when you're ready to come out of it, put your hands down and you can get out of that stretch. Gladly, right? It's either like you love it or you hate it stretch, but it's not very subtle. It's pretty intense. All right. Now we're going to move into a stretch for our hamstrings. So you're going to lay on your back and grab your left leg with your left hand. My thumb is pointing down, and I'm going to grab with my thumb on the bottom of my heel, and my hands just kind of like wrap around my heel. My knee is open about 45 degrees to the left, so I'm at an angle, and you're going to kick down towards the midline of your body, and then pull up, and as you pull up, it's over the left side. Kicking down for strength, and up for your stretch. And you just go back and forth just like that. Down for strength and up for stretch. You are welcome to use a strap for this one. Sometimes it's helpful to grab your big toe. You can do that. And just go back and forth. Down for strength and up for stretch. Whew. We have a heat wave going through. It just got really hot in here. I wonder if the temperature outside just increased. It could be my muscles. Sometimes they warm up too. So kicking down for strength and pulling up for stretch, and you should feel this in the inner part of your hamstring right here. If you don't feel that, it's okay. Just stop and do something different. Do the other side. Just rest. That's okay too. All right, now bring your right leg up. Grab your heel with your right hand. Your knee opens up to the right at about 45 degrees. You'll kick it down for strength and then pull up for your stretch. And again, you should feel this in the inner part of your left hamstring. So it's the back inside of your leg. If you feel it on the outside, that just means you're using the wrong muscle. And there's not much you can do to fix that right now except to stretch that outer muscle. So just hang tight for a second. Don't keep doing the stretch if you feel it in the wrong place. And we'll fix it later. So down for strength and up for stretch. And again, we're aiming for about 10 or until you feel like you've done enough. But the timing is really up to you because it's your body. So do as many as you want or as little as you want. Resist as much as you want, but you have to make sure you're resisting at least a little bit to make sure that it works. Very good. All right, now come up into a butterfly position. Bring your feet together and your elbows on your knees. Now what you're going to do here is squeeze your legs in while you push your arms open. So squeeze in with your legs, your arms are going to resist the whole time, and then use your arms to open you up. And you just go back and forth like this. So I'm resisting the whole time, so my legs are always trying to stay closed like this. My arms are always going to try to keep me open like this. And it just goes back and forth. So in for strength and open for stretch. You should feel your inner thighs right here. If you feel anything different, you can just stop on this one. It also helps sometimes to just take a tier resistance, to tear down on your resistance. So think about like lowering the volume a little bit on your resistance. As long as you're resisting a little bit, it's good. But if you resist too much, you might find that you recruit some other muscles. Like if you recruit your quads, you'll feel it in the outer hips. You might feel it in your hip flexors if you're recruiting those too. So just find a place that works for you and an amount of resistance that works for you. If you don't feel this at all, then bring your feet in pretty close and focus on the strength portion. So you're going to focus on the up more than on the down. Make sure that you're resisting the entire time. Okay? It'll probably shake a bunch. That's a good sign. Up for strength and down for stretch. Awesome, awesome. Okay, the next stretch we're going to do is for your outside hamstring. So you're going to lay back on your back again. Bring your right leg up and grab the outside of your foot with your left hand. So this is my right leg, my left hand over my shin, and I grab the outside of my foot. Then you're going to turn your leg internal. So you're going to turn it internal rotation to bring your knee close to your elbow. So my right knee is kind of like cradled in to my left elbow. And then kick your heel down. When you kick down, as long as you keep your knee in, you're going to kick down towards the right side of your hip. And then as you pull up, you'll pull over your left shoulder. And you just go back and forth, down for strength and up for stretch. And it's just a nice up and down motion, resisting down for strength training. Your arm slows you down. On the way up, my leg is slowing down this motion. So I'm trying to kick my heel down the entire time. Down for strength and up for stretch. And you just go back and forth. This one you should feel in the outer part of your hamstring. Okay? After you've done a couple of these, if you found that your inside hamstring wasn't working properly, then switch arms and try that outer hamstring. So you try the external rotation and get your medial hamstring active. All right, now let's do our left leg. So bring your left leg up, take your right arm over your shin and grab the outside of your foot. Then you're gonna nuzzle your knee into your right elbow. So you internally rotate, your heel will come out to the left. Kick you down towards the outside of your hip and pull up over your right shoulder. If you need a strap for this one, that's okay. You can use the rope, you can use a belt or a yoga strap, either way is fine. But you just want to make sure that you're getting this diagonal motion. And that you're feeling the stretch on the outer part of your hamstring. Very, very good. Now you can stay in the stretch if you want, but if you were also feeling your inside stretch in the wrong place, then you can switch and go back to medial hamstring. So you just switch arms, let your knee open up to the side, and try that one again. It should feel a little different. You can go back and forth between the two if you want. One is an external rotation, one is an internal rotation. It's different parts of your hamstring. All right, and now we're going to grab your quads in a different way. So you're going to bring your right leg open to the side. I'm actually pulling my foot off my mat. You see how that works? So like instead of it being on my mat, it's out about 45 degrees. Then I'm going to take my left leg and hook it over top of my right knee. Now the motion here is to push your right knee open, and your left leg is going to pull it down towards the mat. But when you do this, you want to keep your hips on the ground if you can. You don't want to roll over like this because that's going to stretch the wrong place. So make sure that you keep your hips on the ground, pushing open for strength, and then pulling across for your stretch. So I'm pushing up with my right leg, and my left leg is fighting that. And then my left leg is going to pull me down kind of towards the bottom middle of my mat. I keep my hips on the mat, and you go back and forth. You should feel this on the upper part of your hip here. Now, people are always like, that feels like an IT band stretch, but it really grabs a muscle called the sartorius, which is this quad muscle that hooks in at the top and comes across. There's some debate on that, whether it's a quad muscle or not. I think it is. You can fight me on it if you want. Regardless, it's a type of hip flexor muscle, and by stretching this out, you're going to get a little bit more openness in the front of your hips, which is a good thing. Up for strength. And then pull down and across for your stretch. Nice. So let's move to the other side. So take your left leg off your mat. You're going to take your right leg and hook it over top of your knee. And you're going to resist like you're trying to pull both apart. So my left leg here is out at about a 45-degree angle. And then I'm going to push up with my left leg into my foot and then use my right foot to pull my knee down towards the floor. So you just go back and forth. Try to keep your hips on the ground. It's really important. That makes sure that you don't roll too much. If your pelvis rolls with you, then you lose this stretch. You might feel a stretch in your back. You might get a little twist through your spine, and sometimes that feels good. But that's not what we're aiming for. We want to get this hip flexor muscle in the front of your leg. So make sure you keep your hips down. They might roll a little bit, but you'll always feel your sacrum, that like the bony part right around, like by your butt, like right in the middle, you'll feel your sacrum on the ground. That's very important. All right, let's do one more. All right, and now we're going to move on into some arm stretches. So bring your hands together like this, like you interlock your fingers, and put your thumbs right over your head, like right over the crown of your head. And then you're going to squeeze your elbows together. And then open up for strength. So you just go back and forth just like this, squeezing in for your stretch and opening up for strength. And you just go back and forth. Oh, it's a good one. You should feel this in the back of your shoulders. Like right back here. Maybe by your shoulder blades too, that would be okay. And let's do one more. Good. And now we're going to work a bit on our forearms and the top of our arms here, like the forearms and then through our extensors. So the forearm stretch looks like this. You're going to bring your fingers to the mat so that they're facing your knees. But I have all my weight on my knees, so make sure that you feel that safety. And then bring your hands down so that your palms are on the mat. You might need to adjust where you are so that maybe, closer to your knees will feel less intense, further away will feel more intense, or I don't know. You find what works for you. Push your fingers into the mat and then very slowly rock back and forth. If you guys are reading magazines these days, this stretch is just featured in Health Magazine. There's an article about stretching, and they do a lot of resistance stretches in that magazine. There's a little spread about it. So check it out. This is one of those stretches. You should feel this through your forearms, right through here. It's very helpful if you've been doing a lot of work on a computer. So forward for strength and back for stretch. Good. And now we're going to do the other side. Now this one's a little tricky, but I think you can do it. I always joke, it's like my favorite bar trick. It kind of makes you look like a gorilla. So you put your hands down so that the tops of your hands here are on the mat. So I'm actually like flipping over so that my fingernails are pointing down towards the floor. I keep my weight on my legs so that I don't want to put a lot of weight on my wrists. That wouldn't be helpful. And then from here, push your fingers down into the mat. So you like try to make jazz hands, like you try to go like this. And then what you do is you start bending down and then lift up, use your legs to lift you up. And as you lift up, let your arms follow through so that your elbows come forward. And then you bend back again down. The important thing here is that you get up as straight as you can. Try to reach your body up towards the ceiling and your arms will follow through. If you can't seem to grab this, it's kind of tricky at first. It's kind of a little bit of a brain thing. You can try one arm and you just lead it. Sometimes it just needs to know that it's safe, okay? So you just lead it into position. So come on up into that stretch and back down. A couple of these is fine, and let's come out of it. Like your wrists will be very sore when you get out of this, but I promise you guys, I'm a piano player. I wouldn't do anything that would be bad for your wrists, okay? So just roll them out. That little achiness will go away in a second. Try both ways. And then wiggle your fingers a little bit. All right. And still, if you're feeling a little bit of tension there, it's okay. That pain will go away, I promise. All right, my friends, that's all we're going to do for today because it's 7 o'clock. I hope you enjoyed class. Make sure to leave me a comment. Let me know what you're up to. Let me know if there's any of these stretches that you want me to revisit more in a class, you want me to describe more, or if you have any issues that you want to look at in a different class, I'm happy to look at them. So leave a description below. Don't forget to chime in next week for Life Renovations. The next live class will be Saturday at 9 a.m. Central Time, so check that out as well. And don't forget, if you found value in this class, then go down to the description below and please, if you can, make a contribution to Stretch Cheese so that we can continue to keep giving you these videos and we can keep the studio open after this lockdown is over, okay? So fingers crossed everything works out. You guys stay healthy, stay safe, stay inside, and I will see you on Saturday morning. Bye-bye.